here today in Lead Hill, Arkansas. That's part of Boone County, in case you didn't know it. I was born right down the road here in an old rock house right across from the school. This is Doug and Marilyn Richardson. I got that right? Doug and Marilyn Richardson. Have y'all lived here all your life?
He lived here.
I've lived in Lead Hill all my...
You lived in Bergman?
Yeah, he lived
It's kind of like a little boy one time. A guy pulled up and said, "Son, you lived here all your life?" And he said, "Not yet."
Not yet. That's true. We've not left this world yet.
Well, Marilyn, we're here. Marilyn, tell us where we are. We're in this house here right on the corner. And what corner of what street and what is this house where we are?
Well, this is the Kirkwood house. It's on the corner of Cherry and Highway 7 and 14 at the junction. It was moved here from the old town when they put the lake in.
Oh, my.
The house was originally built in 1917 as a gift to my grandmother and her husband, which was William Washington Kirkwood, as he was a big mine, I guess you'd say, big mine owner at zinc, and at that time the zinc mine was beginning to play out. So his inheritance was to each of his 3 girls. He would build them a house. One sister, Alice Gregory, she moved to Canada, and she got her money to take there. Alma married Harold Wilson, and they built a house in zinc. And my grandmother, which was Mabel, married George Kirkwood. They built a house in Lead Hill.
This house?
This house was built in Lead Hill. And is out of her inheritance from the Alma mine in zinc.
Now they moved this up here. Where was it in Old Lead Hill?
It was down just across the street from the creek on the corner in the southeast corner of the town.
And they moved it up here in one piece? Or how?
All in one piece with all the furniture in it and everything at the same time.
Mercy. Did you move it, Doug? Was that you? Okay. I thought
before
that'd be
my
good.
time.
Oh, before your time. Okay. Okay.
No, they came up around by the rodeo arena where it's at now.
Yes.
Where the brush pile and stuff's at. And come up what is now Highway 7. That road was not there. It was just a field.
Yeah.
They brought it up here and set it up here. When they brought it, there was a big mulberry tree right out here where the road's at now. A big, huge mulberry tree, because us kids played in it after we got up here. But there was no road for that area to come up this way.
Now, were you raised in this house?
Yes.
Okay. How many stories? Is this
It's just two
stories here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. Is there a basement to the?
Not here. No, there was down there, but there's not one here.
Okay, all right. Pretty well changed a lot of people's lives when they put the lake in down there and moved up here. How many other houses, are there other houses along here? Now, my Aunt Burley lived
Right next door.
over here. Now, did they move that house?
No, that house was not moved. That was built.
Okay.
I think the house that Bernice and Odie had at one time.
Yes, on the other
that
side.
burnt. Yeah, it has burnt since burned.
Yes.
But I think it was moved. The house, the next house down, which was Pearlie Hodge's house, it was moved. Janie Gann's house, or the Yule Gann's house back over here, it was moved. There was one across the road from Pearlie's house that was moved, but it's been torn down
Now, is
since.
Pearlie Mary Ann Gaines' daddy, or?
No.
No.
No, Pearlie was a lady.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, Pearlie, whoever you are there from.
That's all right. Right at the moment I can't tell you the history, but I can figure it out. Buck Green had a house moved that was back over here on the northeast corner.
Now, he was sheriff of Boone County at one time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was mayor here when they moved to town. And then Berta Lee Forsey was here the other day, which is Berta Lee Green, which is Buck's daughter. And they were here Saturday, and we were talking about this. And she thinks that Carmen and Albie's house, which is back out on the northwest corner, was moved because of the lake. But it wasn't in the Lead Hill area. It was out here on West Sugarloaf. Mm. And as far as Bert and Laura Trimble's house over here was moved up here.
Lloyd and Ethel.
And Lloyd and Ethel's a big rock house.
Lloyd and Ethel Pumphrey?
Yes.
Yes. Now, they brought that house straight up the hill.
Yeah, but they came around the old road, the old Highway 14. They came up it and then come straight up the hill with it. Okay. Berta Lee was telling me that the house that Buck and Esterdale had down in the old town, they went out 14 and came up on the back side of the town where it wasn't quite as steep and brought it around and come up through the middle of this. This up here was all a cornfield at one time, as she had told me.
I understand they almost lost the Pumphrey house pulling it up the hill.
Yes, and she was watching it out the window when it happened. Berta Lee was, and she said it got almost up to the roof and they lost traction and it rolled back down the hill and sort of cut into a ditch line and what have you. Knocked about 3 or 4 rocks off of us. All it done damage it done. But all this was done in 49 and 50, 51, somewhere along in there.
Yeah. Was my dad had already gone to Harrison when they moved. What's your uncle's name that we were talking about earlier that we filmed?
Ward B.
Ward B and
Dolly.
Yep.
We filmed them out on their farm.
Right.
Now tell me he's your uncle, right? He was your uncle. He passed away. When did he pass away? 2 years ago or a year ago?
Oh, it's been 3 years ago, I think.
Okay, yeah. What? Time gets by, John. I didn't realize we'd been filming all that long. Yeah.
When you come, he was still alive last time I seen you here when we had...
Well, he's sitting out here.
Yeah.
He's sitting out here.
He was sitting out here. That's been 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He died. He died the next year, I think.
Yeah. And she's still living on the farm?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me about your family again, Doug. You told me out there a minute ago. Tell me about your family. That was your uncle. So you have anybody else as good looking as you are in the family?
No.
No, it's nobody's good looking as you are. I can tell that.
His wife's already gone.
Yeah.
So nobody can deny it.
Yeah, right. I got that. Yeah. So that's a statement you'll stand beside.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We've got it right
That's
here on
my story,
film.
and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Well, Doug, tell us now. So you lived in Bergman.
Yeah.
So you didn't live in Lead Hill.
No.
Okay. But do you remember the old town at all?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, give me a little bit about the old town, some memories you have of the old Lead Hill.
Well, I don't have a whole lot because I was about 5 when we moved up here. So I don't have a whole lot. I remember the day they started moving this house because there was a basement under it, as I said. And the dollies had to come across that hole. And we kept thinking, and my grandfather and Dad had a store building down on the corner. He had a milling place and a grocery store and what have you down on the corner. So all the ladies and spectators were down there in that building watching them bring this off of the foundation. And we would run out, we'd go look a while, and then we'd think it was going to fall in. They just inched along, just real slow.
So the dollies reached past the basement. So
they put timbers on it and rolled them across it.
Okay.
And so we kept thinking that thing was going to fall in that basement. And us kids was having a good time, but we'd run out and look at it every once in a while. And then that's about all I can remember about moving the house.
Right.
But the house and the store was right across from the creek. The cotton gins and everything were over next to the road. To the creek, I'm sorry. And so that, and then on down the street was your businesses and what have you, on down to the north of the house.
Now, you and Doug, have y'all lived in Lead Hill?
For a brief time.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months to a year.
You just didn't want to leave the big city of Bergman, did you? Come out here, this little hick town.
I didn't want to leave the country. Come to town.
Do you have a farm out at Bergman?
Yeah. We have his dad's place now.
Oh, that's where your dad was?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were born and raised over here toward Carrolton, between here and Highway 14 and 280. On past there, just a little ways. Where Jackie Joe lives. Where Ward lives.
Yes.
Okay, that was the old farm.
Yeah.
That was the Richardson farm.
Okay.
And Ward was there. And then they lived on a place called the Rice Place. And then they moved out to Bergman.
Ward told me that the barn there was over 100 years old.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So that's your home place.
Well, my dad's home place.
Your dad's home place. Okay. All right.
Doug never lived there.
Okay.
He lived at Bergman all his life.
They moved out there in 42. I was born in 43.
Even up here, this part of Lead Hill or down there, either one, a character. Somebody who somebody that stands out in your mind. Other than Doug Richardson. But somebody stands out in your mind, a character, the character here, stands out in your mind. Somebody in Lead Hill.